Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our today's webinar. As you can see here in the title, it is going to be about contact relationship, shear logs, and other new features in CYPE Connect. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ignacio Delgado. You can also call me Nacho, and I'm from the International Sales Department of CYPE Software Engineering. Joining me today from our technical department, we have our engineer Antonio Castel. Hello, Antonio. How are you?
Hello, Nacho. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be presenting today's webinar. Thanks.
It is a pleasure to have you here. In today's webinar, Antonio is going to present us the new features of the 2025B version of CYPE Connect. This version was released around 2 weeks ago, the 1st of July. And this presentation is going to take us around 1 hour. But before we start, I just want to inform you that we have the chat opened in all our platforms. So for any doubt or any commentary that you may want to share, feel completely free to use it. I would also like to inform you that we will be holding a raffle with 3 prizes for those who attend the entire webinar. This is just going to be for the ones who attended from the beginning until the end of the webinar. And we are going to present these prizes at the end of the presentation. So for the ones that are joining us today for the very first time and they don't know anything about CYPE, I can imagine there are some attendees that are completely new in CYPE. Let me introduce our company very quick. We are a technical engineering company with over 40 years of experience. We offer programs to design and analyze the whole life cycle of building project. From the beginning, as you can see here, from architecture, MEP, structural solutions, until project management. Another important thing to mention, as you can see here down below, is our optional digital workflow. We always work with the common methods like 2D drawings, CAD, and so on. But we also offer the possibility to generate a digital model with the BIMserver.center, which for the ones that don't know, is our CDE, is our common data environment platform. This is optional for any user, as I have already mentioned, and we offer it completely for free, no cost. But I think it's going to be better if we present this at the end of the webinar, not now, because now we are going to focus in our main software for connections, CYPE Connect. This software can model and analyze steel element connections between timber structural elements, and steel to timber connections. So, Antonio, talking about the new features of the 2025B version in CYPE Connect, I am already aware that we have already implemented new international codes, right?
Yes.
Can you please explain us a little bit more about it?
Yes.
Let me stop sharing my screen. This way you can share yours.
Perfect. Let me share my screen because I'm going to start with this new feature or these new codes that we have implemented in this new version. You can see me now, my screen?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
We can.
So hello, everyone. As Nacho was saying, I'm Antonio Castel. I'm an industrial engineer and part of the technical team of CYPE. Today, I'm going to be presenting the new features of the 2025B version of CYPE Connect and also Stream Steel. For the ones that are new in this area, this is because CYPE Connect is a software dedicated to the analysis, model, and analysis of complex connections. And Stream Steel is a software where professionals can do the detailing of the steel structure. So this software, Stream Steel, also incorporates CYPE Connect inside. This way, the professionals that want to do the detailing of the steel structures and also the complex connections analysis can do it in only one software. But anyways, I will show you later. The first new feature that, that Nacha was speaking about is the code implementation. For example, in this new version, we have implemented a concrete code for Canada and also some code of rolled and reinforced steel structures that you can see in the screen. But the thing is, it will be better if I show you directly in the software. Here you can see the interface of CYPE Connect, and in the top left part, you can see the codes menu. If we go inside, you will see that we have different tabs for steel, timber, or concrete codes. We select, for example, the steel menu. You can see here that we have a lot of codes all around the world. That's why we want to, that's because we want to implement every country's code. So every user worldwide can use our software for design and analyze complex connections. So if there is any user or any professional watching this webinar and feel that the code of his country is not in our software, I invite you to send us an email to Nacho or our technical department, so we will work and we'll implement it, okay? We have, of course, this the Eurocode for the timber. That is one of the strengths of our software, like the possibility of analyze timber and steel connections, and also for concrete. This is about the codes, but I'm going to speak now about some new operations that are also implemented in the software. The first operation I wanted to speak about is the contact relationship. This is quite interesting. Here you can see some images, but also again, I'm going to open the software to show you. This new operation permits us to create contact relationships between steel elements and also between concrete and steel elements. In this case, for example, we enter into the edit panel of the connection. Let's check it here. You can see here the connection that we have been modeling and analyzing. In this part, you can see that the section and the plate are not directly connected. They are not bolted. And the plate with the forces is just resting in this cantilever beam. In this case, we are creating this operation. I'm going to set the sections and the plates of the model as transparent for you to know how this surface represents this contact relationship. So all the forces are transmitted from the plate to the beam. This new operation, it could be settled, for example, also in the top part of the connection. If we create, I was trying here the contact 2, but I'm going to create a new one for you all to see. The new operation is up here, contact relationship. Of course, you have all these operations that you can see in the top part that are quite interesting. And if we create a contact relationship, see that we can create it between the bar 2 section, this case, the bar 2, the B2, in the bottom flange, and in between the plate 1. As you can see here, a new surface, green surface, is being created, and it represents that we have two contact relationships between the little plate and the both sections. I'm going to go through another connection to show you the possibilities of this new implementation. But before, I wanted to go back to the presentation to show you this little diagram, well, to explain you how the program does this generation. What the program does is to generate relationships between the nodes of the shells that have been created in the surfaces of the elements, in the steel elements or the concrete elements, that work only with compression forces. When one element pushes another one, this relationship works. As they have a nonlinear behavior, when they are free, they are not working. They are in tensile forces. They are just released. So the behavior is non-linear, as I said. Going back to the software, you can see here another example. We have here a detachable or removable truss connections that can be part of some trusses of a concept that is temporary. And if we enter inside, you can see how it's already transparent how the contact relationship has been created between all the faces of the interior bar. We have two bars here and also an auxiliary bar that is inside them. So for this part that is fixed, we have all the exterior faces of the bar welded to the B1, but also inside we have created these contact relationships for the bars to be connected and working as in compression. In the other side, that is the removable part, you see that we only needed to create 2 of them. That's because when we create a bolt operation or an anchorage operation, this contact relationship is being created automatically. That's why we only need it in the top and bottom flanges of the profile. In this case, for example, if we want to create a contact relationship between the B2 in the left web, for example, and another section, the auxiliary bar, the bar 1, in the right web, creating here, you can see that an error message appears. And if you read it, it says, it's not necessary to define the contact between the selected elements since it is established as of the bolts operation. So as I was saying, once you create a bolt operation or an anchorage operation, this contact relationship is created automatically. This is an error, so I'm going to delete it. It's quite interesting that the software is telling you every time where you have the errors with quite detailed information.
Yes, I totally agree. It's very, very useful. Mm-hmm.
In this part of with this connection, I wanted to show you also here in the for the new users or new attendees, you can find here in the top part 3 tabs: the model tab, the analysis tab, and also the sheets. This is one of the more significant strengths of our software, the possibility to detail, well, to model, to analyze in a very complex way, and also to do the detailing of the connection all in the same software. In this case, this is how it will be represented. You can see here how we have this auxiliary bar inside the B1 and well, all the bolts that enough information for the people that work on site for it to know how it works, right? I think there is some information that is missing here. That could be, for example, the bolts or the holes. This information we have it in the model as it is a BIM model. So all the model is full of information. For example, in this case, the bolts, we can directly tag the model and see that we have all the information necessary for the bolts. Also for the holes, we select here, well, a little bit deeper. Here we see that we need 4 holes of 20 millimeters. I'm going to show you the next connection, and also you will see how it's very easy to create these sheets in our software. Let me check. I'm going to close this, save it. Here, I have another connection that now is possible to calculate, to analyze in our software. In previous version, we had the possibility of supporting one beam in another without a plate between them, because with the plates and the bolts, the contact relationship is created. In this case, was it transparent? We see that we have created a contact relationship between the 2 profiles. They are welded and bolted with the auxiliary plates and the stiffeners, but these 2 beams are in contact and they are working in compression with compression forces. In this case, for example, I'm going to show you during this webinar several options that we have in the software. We could export it to our library, 2 beams. Well, I'm going to leave it like this, and I will show you later how all these connections are in our library. Save, leave. We also have the option, as I show you here, of creating a support of plates directly to our section. This is also a possibility created with this new tool of this new operation of contact relationship. You can see how the green surface is creating this contact relationship between the main section and the plates where the beam is resting. I can go here to the sheets and I can show you easily how we can insert a template that we already have in our library. This is the library of templates. You can insert one, the one for connections here easily, and we can create an automatic. I'm creating everything, all the stiffness, the connection, etc. But you can see how automatically some information has been created. Of course, we'll need to organize a little bit for our project, but as you can see, these elements are not 2D elements, but is a 3D scene that you can modify, change it, put it in normal mode, and also edit some other characteristics as the scale, the image quality, the background, etc. We accept it. We can see here that, as I told you with the other operation, you have here all the information, the plate, measurements, the bolts, the sections, etc. And this template is very easy to create. It's being created here directly and very fast. For example, with the lines command, you can create, if we activate the ortho, you can create it as fast as this. Well, I'm not doing properly right now, but just to know that you can easily do a template and export it to your library. Also insert a text inside it, and with the replacing text and the variables that are predefined in the software that you can create, you can reuse all these templates all the time. Okay, I'm going to show you the next operation that we had prepared. In this case, we'll have this operation where the anchorage will already existed, right? And we wanted to set a beam support a beam in the top of it. So in this case, we solve it introducing a little plate between the section and the previous base plate. For that, we had to create two contact relationships between the section and the plate, and also the plate and the base plate. This is, for example, another solution that the users can work with the new version 2025B. Let me check what I'm missing here. I have here also this connection that is also interesting when we set the anchorage, raise it, right, and elevated anchorage. That is a solution that we use in some cases. So in this case, as the bolts are not in contact with the base plate, this contact relationship is not created. For that, we had to use the opening tool that you can see here, and also the contact relationship. As you see here, I'm going to set the views as transparent. You can see here that we needed to establish this contact relationship between the concrete element and the plate. In this case, well, this new feature that I was thinking now I'm going to tell you later. If I go to the sheets, just you to know, you will find that, well, first I'm going to tell you about the library of connections for you to know. You can get your own library. And here, when we see the connection library, you can see that we have different connections. These are the ones with the ones I'm going to work today and show you today. But you see that in the case we want to import, this connection is already modeled. But if we would like to import, the software will try to show us compatible connections. As this is also a base plate, is telling us the software that is quite similar. If we want to see all of them, software will tell us that this is not correct, this is similar, and this also is not compatible with the selected connection. This is an interesting feature. If we go back, I'm going back to the presentation to speak a little bit about these connections between the concrete elements and the steel elements, as the surfaces of the concrete are considered to be supported as ungenerated by nonlinear bonds working only in compression. They only work in the part that compressive forces act. And as you can see here in the image, they work as springs that only have these compression forces when working. They don't work on with tensile forces. I'm also going to show you, let me check 1 second in the presentation. I'm going to speak now about shear lags. And shear lags, well, let me check.
Yes, I think this is one of the main purpose of this webinar. This is a new feature that I think is very, very interesting for the users. Can you please explain us what is the purpose of these shear logs?
Oh, the shear lag. Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Normally, I'm going to show you directly in the software. You can see in the image how what shear lags are. That are these elements that are welded in the base plates at the bottom of the profile. Normally, I'm going to check, for example, this connection and edit it. We can see here that the new operation that we have is contact relationship, but also we are improving all the operations that we have. In the operation of anchorage, for example, you can see here that this new tab appeared, this shear lag. In the anchorage operation, you have the anchors, of course, we will talk about it later. The concrete, that concrete can be defined in the element and also can be a selection of concrete that we already created with the operation concrete, and also we can implement a shear lag. These shear lags are steel elements that are placed at the bottom of the profiles, and what we try to reduce with these shear lags is the shear forces that act in the anchorages. We don't, for example, this is a column, and if we don't implement on some cases these shear lags, the shear forces are acting through the anchorages that normally are intended to work as for tensile forces. So this could be, for example, a frame of a warehouse or industrial building where we can have a gantry crane, and in the starting or in the braking, some axial forces act in the columns. So what we achieve with this shear lag is to reduce these shear forces in the anchorage and transmit these forces directly to the concrete element. It's important to know that for this operation, what we check in the software is the compression forces, compressive forces from the shear lag to the concrete. But all the rest of checks about the reinforcement bars of the concrete have to be done in other software. We have, for example, some softwares for concrete. In this case, you can see here we have different type of profiles that can act as a shear lag. We can also, of course, change the distance, put another angle. In this case, we're going to leave it as 0, and it was the proper proper disposition by the forces acting on it. Also, you can check here that we also have hollow sections that can be implemented in the software. Here is interesting to comment. If I go back to the presentation, Well, in this image, I wanted to explain that with, as you see here, with this shear lag, all the forces that is being received, the concrete, are axial forces, and the bolts or the anchorages are working in tension. Here I want to show you which sides of the shear lags are acting or are transmitting these forces to the concrete. These are the top and bottom part in the IP or WT elements, almost all the sides in the C elements, L, and well, so on. In the case of the hollow sections, rectangular hollow sections, the exterior parts of the model. So when the user includes the shear lag, the anchorage also reduces the shear stiffness, and the force is almost entirely transmitted through the shear lag. Let me check what else we have here. Here, well, this is also a new feature or new improvement that we implemented in this version, the partial support of base plates or anchored profiles. If we go back to the software, I have a connection prepared to explain this. Well, as you can see here in this connection, we go to the edit panel. You can see how this beam is supported in the concrete, but only partially. This was a limitation in previous versions because it was not possible, but now we have implemented, and you can define, the users can define partially supported beams or steel elements in concrete, etc. It's good to comment. I was commenting with Nacho before that all the implementations and these improvements and changes that we are introducing, because we receive suggestions or information from the clients. So it's good to know that this is a software that is developing according to users and industry needs. So we aim you to share all the suggestions, right, Nacho?
Yes, exactly. Any suggestion that you may have, you can see that we are always happy to help you, and we are always willing to listen to anything that you want to share with us. Okay?
Yeah. And also, well, as Ignacio commented at the beginning, you have the chat. You can ask whatever you want. We have all our technical team ready to answer and to get in contact with you. You have any doubts, okay?
Yes, exactly. For any doubt, feel completely free to use it. We have, as Antonio has said, we have the technical support there. For any question, you will receive an answer almost immediately.
Yeah, this is one of the strengths of our software. This is having technical support these days is not very easy, but CYPE has a really good technical support. So here I wanted to show you these symbols that the program offers you. In this case here, this means that the connection must be designed, is not analyzed yet. This symbol means that the connection have passed all the checks that that the Eurocode, in this case, the code I selected, needed, right? If we select the element, the bolts, you can see here all the, I click the page preview, all the codes according, and the comprobations according to the code of every element of our connections, the plates, stiffeners, bolts, welding, etc. And easily you can get a report in a matter of seconds that you see that all the checks that you need for your projects are being selected, are being published, and well, you have these documents. You can export it in PDF, text, doc, etc. to edit or to put it as an annex in your project. This is also one of our strengths. Going back here, for you to know, we have this option where you can print your connection in GLTF, DXF 3D, 2D to send it to other softwares. This is also an interesting one. All the part of the load cases that this presentation is not intended to explain this, but well, just for the new users. Going back to the presentation,
Sorry to interrupt you here, Antonio. Can you explain what happens when selecting a post-install anchor?
Okay.
I think we also have some improvements in this tab related to our OpenBIM database, right?
Yeah, I'm going to explain it now with some baseplate anchorage in the software.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check here. I'm going to use this connection, hollow connections. As you can see here, modeling our software is quite easy. If I unselect all the options, you see that we started with a tubular hollow circular profile. We just set a plane. We inserted a plate on that plane, attached it. We did an adjustment, and we also welded at the same time. We set a stiffener that we have it automatically for speed the job. And we create an anchorage with the anchors and the concrete. I have to explain the casting anchors, but you were telling me, Nacho, also about the news of the post-install anchors, right? So I'm going to explain it. When we select post-install anchors, you see here that we have this button. This is the button of the OpenBIM database of CYPE. You have to know it because we are putting a lot of efforts on implementing the real products, the real elements that are going to be placed on the project. That give us the project a higher level of definition of information, and well, it's a way to achieve a real BIM size. In this case, we already had downloaded Hilti and Raupruk. This one is new, and we put new anchorage of Hilti. I can download another one. And I invite you to click here in case you are missing some catalog, so we know that some users want to implement it, and we will implement it. Once downloaded these catalogs, we can come here and select these manufacturers and place an actual anchorage, and will be analyzed according to this anchorage. That was Ignacio.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Going to back, this is about the post-install, but we also have some news about the pre-install anchorages. In this case, we have we did differentiation between the corrugated bar, threaded rod, or a smooth bar. That was because in the previous version, we only had one casting anchor, and some users were mixing some categories on some types or materials from different categories with the other ones. So now, if we go to the interface, we can see here the libraries, where we can check in the materials that now we have 3 different menus of materials for corrugated bars, threaded rod, or smooth bars. And also, in the case of the libraries, we have all these series, different series. If we edit it, we have here inside all the anchors, all the series that are available, the information of the nut, washer, etc. So this information is going to be available when we select the proper anchorage. Sorry. For example, if we select threaded rod, only the ones that we defined in the library will appear, and we will be able to select it. And the information will appear here. The diameters of the washer, nuts, and the bolt will appear here, but the users won't be able to edit them. You have to edit in the first library. Also, let me check here because we have another improvement that I wanted to speak about. In the library, in the case of the materials, we have created this. In the library, we have already these materials, and as you see here at the bottom part, it says that the first element of the list will take the default value. Sorry. So this S235 is going to be the material that is going to be taken when we create a new plate, etc., with all these characteristics. In this case, we have the S235, except If we go to the connection and we create a new plate, a plate with this steel will be created. In the past, we had to select the steel in every connection and every element. Now, we think this is pretty much user-friendly and easier. For example, we change the element and we said that the S275 is going to be on the list, and we create a plate. You can see how this one is selected, and all the properties that we edit in the library are going to be reflected in all the elements that we have created during our project. Going back to the new improvements, let me check. Oh, we also have new types of headed anchorages. Now, I show you, we can create or we can insert a plate welded in our anchorage. If we go to the anchorage operation, you can see how here we have created, in the case of the corrugated bar, for example, this kind of anchorages that are used in some situations. And depending the type of casting anchor that you select, you will have available the ones that correspond to this type of casting anchor. We can select it, circular or square, and change all the diameters, etc., that we need in our software. It's important to comment that this anchorages doesn't participate on the finite elements model, only in the compromission of the cone of the concrete. Let me check here. What else we have here? The direct access to the library elements and material. We're speaking about this new feature. We have also another new feature that is the creation. I haven't prepared a connection for this one, but what it's also interesting is the creation of a reference plan defined by 2 bars. As you can see here, a plane is created between 2 bars, the B2 and B3. Well, this was interesting in this case because if not, it would be really difficult to place a plane and after a plate in this position. This way, easily we can finish this connection properly. Let me check if I'm missing something of the software. I think all the new features are done. I wanted to comment about, well, the proposed workflow, because CYPE Connect is a software, the one that we are focused today, for model and analyze complex connections. But of course, we have different softwares, and the best workflow proposed for us and the more productive is doing the structural analysis of the whole structure, then doing the analysis and modeling of the connections, and then do the detailing of the whole structure and also of the complex connections. I'm going to show you quickly how will it look. CYPE 3D is our software for structural analysis. You can see here how we have defined a huge model, huge warehouse, and this software has a lot of capabilities, defining node, parts, shells that permit us define a lot of materials, and also, well, of course, all the analysis, the backlink analysis, nonlinear combination, nonlinear analysis, and well, it permits us to generate an analysis that is quite complex and we think enough for the most of the engineering projects of building in the building sector, right? After it, we will send our project through BIMserver.center to stream steel. Well, I did open this little model composed of 3 frames. I want to show you how, for example, if we edit, this is stream steel that is intended for steel detailing. But if we edit a connection, as you can see, we enter directly to CYPE Connect again. Here, again, we can model, analyze, and do the sheets of our project. So this is a really productive software. In this one, in the documents, composition, you can see how you can create all the sheets according to the assemblies, parts, connections, or the 3D. Here, as I can show you, well, you have all the information with the types of connections, etc. This project has a lot of information, but also you have here the detail of some connections that we have in the project, and you can see how all the information is placed. Going back to my presentation, I wanted also to speak about our BIMserver.center viewer that is also, as Nacho said, a common data environment, a free common data environment, and I wanted to transmit you how useful it can be to show your clients or your colleagues your work. Here in my profile, I was creating some connections. In this case, I shared these ones, and if we go to the viewer, we can see how if we select, for example, connection 4, the GLTF of the connection is being represented, but not only represented, but with all the information transmitted from the software. This is IHE 400 with the material, the plate with the thickness, the welding with the throat thickness, length, angle, all this information, the electrode, but we didn't select it in the software. Bolts with the nut, the washers, etc. So this is a very useful information that you can share with collaborators or with clients. It's as easy as clicking here, share, and you can send it by all these platforms, or copy a link, or create a QR code that you can share with your colleague, and easily they will access to your project to see how are you doing. So let me go back here again. From my side, it's enough, Ignacio. I don't know if you want to, I don't know if you have any questions or you have any comments about all this information.
Well, no, it was a wonderful presentation. I just want to remind the attendees that they have the chat for any question. And now that we are coming to the end of the webinar, I would like to present the capabilities that we have in the website. If you go here, let me share my screen, sorry.
I can see you.
Can you see my BIMserver.center screen?
No, we can see your presentation.
Okay, give me a moment. I think now you can, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So now if we go to the BIMserver.center and you register, you can go to the BIMserver.center store in order to download any software that you want to try. The best way to do it will be from the side menu. So first you have to download the side menu. This is a very, very quick procedure. It takes around 2 minutes to be downloaded and completely installed. And once you have it, you just have to go here to your side menu. Give me a moment that I have it here. It's opening. So here. And then once you have it download, you can select any software that you want to try. In my case, I have already downloaded the CYPE Connect. But let's say I just want to download the Strubing shear walls. It's as easy as clicking here and select the 2025.b version, okay? So this way you can download the latest updates. And for the ones who want to try the software completely for free, we have the evaluation option. This option allows you to try the software for 10 days non-consecutives. As I have already told you, it's completely free. In 10 days non-consecutives means, like, imagine that, for example, I start working Monday and then I open it again Saturday. Just counts at 2 days, not like 5 days, just 2. So it's like 2 times you have opened it, it counts 2 times, and you have 10 times, that's the limit. This way you can try the software and you can get used to it before you decide if you prefer to buy it. So if you go here, I would also like to show you the information that we have for this software in our website. Okay, so if you go and select CYPE Connect, you can see first, for example, the detailed information. If you click here, you can see all the information about this software. Introduction, workflows supported by the program, working environment, and so on. Okay, let me go
Yeah,
back.
this is very interesting, Nacho. We are doing great efforts to document and give all these resources to the users so they can learn by themselves. And yeah.
Yes, I totally agree. And here, for example, if you select the learning resources, you can see it on
Now I lost you, Nacho. I don't
also
know.
all the videos that we have
Yeah.
for this
Sorry,
software.
Nacho.
Here, this is a very useful software.
I think we have a problem of connection.
Yes, sorry.
We didn't hear the last part.
Okay. I can repeat it.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect, thank you. So I was here and I was saying that, as you can see here in my screen, you have all the information of the software. Well, the main information of the software divided by lessons. These lessons are very short. One is around 4 or 5 minutes. As you can see here, this one is 3 minutes. And it's divided in the features that you want to try, okay? So if you go here, another thing that we have is videos, tutorials, and webinars. This is very interesting because you can always filter by language, for example. And if I select webinars, you can see here all the webinars about CYPE Connect, okay? Our webinar is also going to be published here in the following days. I'm not sure when, but for next week, for sure it's going to be here. So you can see it again in case you're interested. And also the last part is user manuals and other reports and documents. This is also very useful because if you go here and also search by language and select, for example, the calculation report, calculation manual, and go here and see the calculation report guide of CYPE Connect. Okay.
Yeah.
This is also very, very interesting. For the last part,
and you
yes.
know, Nacho, yeah, just to comment that this is for starting, quick start guide, learning resources, calculation report. But when you get to start doing really complex connections, you always have our technical support included with your license if you are a user of CYPE. So we can reach us, and we can check your model, see what's the problem of it, and maintain a conversation. So that's also a really interesting aspect and one of the benefits of being a CYPE user.
Yes, thank you. I would like to end the presentation commenting this important thing, that for any purchase, our license are perpetual, okay? I'm not sure you are sharing my PowerPoint now?
We can.
Perfect.
This is another
Perfect.
of the strengths
Yes.
of CYPE, yeah.
Yes, this means you don't have to renew the license every year. It's perpetual, it's just forever. And also you can always contact for any doubt to our CYPE email address, cyipe@cyipe.com. And for my email address, ignacio.delgado@cyipe.com. I will be very happy to help you in anything I can. So just to finish in the presentation, as I told you before at the beginning, we are offering some webinar prices for the one who have attended the full webinar. In this time, we are going to offer 3 prices. The first one is 3 months trial license of CYPE Connect, completely for free. This way you can try the software and see if it's interesting for you, that I'm very sure it's going to be interesting for you. Their second price is a 30% discount for any direct purchase from us. Okay, and the third one, and in my opinion, the best one, is the 50% discount for any direct purchase from us. It's half price, the original price of the software. So thank you very much, Antonio, for this wonderful presentation. I think it was very, very fruitful. Yes.
Yes, not just in case we have a little bit of time yet, I think. Didn't cover the 1 hour. So I wanted just to remind to say again all these key not features, but key strengths of using the software, that is having the possibility of design, analyze the whole structure, steel structure, or other kind of structures with our software, sending to the detailing software and sending it to the model and analyzing complex connection software. So we have it everything in the same. With this you win time, it's faster. Another thing that is very interesting for the users, as you said, is the reducing of cost, because the license is perpetual. So you can reduce your cost over there. The productivity that you achieve, because we plan or we generate automatically a lot of reports with the calculations, a lot of drawings. So normally the professionals lost a lot of time doing this kind of documents. We can generate them automatically. And of course, working on a BIM environment with a common data environment, BIMserver.center, that gives you a lot of possibilities. Just to comment, I think it's important to remember.
I totally agree. So, well, that was all from our part. Thank you very much, Antonio, for this presentation.
Thanks,
and thank you very much for all the attendees. So see you in the next webinar.
So thank you very much, everyone. It's a pleasure.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.